Well, also joining us now in studio is political analyst Levy Ndou to also share his thoughts about the NEC meeting. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here at the ANN 7 studios. Let's first of all just ask you, why is this meeting so important for the ANC NEC?
Good morning to you. Good morning to the viewers. This meeting is very, very important to the ANC and the South African population in general because of the issues that have actually been highlighted. Firstly, this meeting has to deal with the program of action of the ANC, and as you have rightfully said so, to look at the preparations of the January 8th statement and then do the elections of the National Working Committee. But very, very importantly about this meeting is the fact that it is coming after a hotly contested conference wherein you had Zuma and Cyril Ramaphosa contesting. And I think when we move towards this meeting again, we need to remind ourselves that the conference has come and passed, and we no longer talk about factions in the ANC. We only talk about one ANC that has got one single goal. And I have always observed an attempt to take us back to the days before the conference in Nazareth. And it's important for all of us to know that the conference has come and passed. We no longer have the Cyril Ramaphosa faction. We no longer have the Zuma faction. We only have got one ANC that is actually preaching unity. But also, they must also then, in this NEC, outline the short-term program of the ANC, what happens from today up until December, as in the calendar of the ANC. And that is very, very important. But whether they like it or not, they'll also have to touch on matters that has something to do with the general elections that are actually coming next year.
Well, also, like we heard from Safiso, we are waiting the ANC spokesperson to actually be announced today. Do you know some of the favorites there? What do you think the ANC looks for in a spokesperson for the party?
Quite importantly, that is one other area that they have to touch on. And, you know, I've been observing the different spokespersons that the ANC have had in the past 20 years. And I haven't identified any who has actually disappointed. And we've been used to Jackson Mthembu in the past few years, and now we had Zizi Kodwa, and they've both been doing very, very well. And well, we don't know who might come up to be the spokesperson of the ANC. But I think both the two that I spoke about have actually done tremendous work, and they've created very good relations with the different media houses. Then the ANC has to groom other people as well. They might come with somebody else, or they might still retain Mr. Zizi Kodwa.
And also on the list of topics that they think will be discussed today is the future of President Jacob Zuma. Do you think that the party will change its stance on the future of President Jacob Zuma, or do you think that they will stick to the plan and that he will remain the president of the country until the end of his election term?
The continuation of President Zuma as the president of the republic does not lie with the NEC. It does not lie with other people outside the ANC. It lies with him. But also, you have got a number of things that have happened. And that's why people are talking about, is there a possibility for President Zuma to be removed now or not? In one of the articles that I was reading this morning, there was a talk that says President Zuma has become a liability. Maybe the question that we should ask ourselves will be to say, has indeed President Zuma become a liability to the ANC? Because there seem to be views that seek to suggest that when you decide to remove President Zuma, it is informed by hatred or other aspects. There is a build-up to all these issues. You will recall that a few weeks ago, the Constitutional Court said the Parliament didn't do well to make sure that President Zuma becomes accountable. And as we speak now, there are processes in Parliament that must deal with impeaching him. You know about the delays in terms of appointing the Commission of Inquiry. You also know about the powers that have been taken away from him as an individual, not being taken away from his office, that he should not appoint the director of the NPA. You should not appoint the judge that must head the commission. So these are the issues that are a build-up. It is not about someone who is just coming out from nowhere and say President Zuma must get out of office. The ANC has to look at all these matters holistically and say, is this good for us or is it bad for us? And this is one huge challenge that the current NEC is supposed to deal with. But I think we've got very good men and women that are sitting in the NEC that will take decisions that will be in the best interest of the ANC. But one other area that I think we should avoid to do is to start bringing in factions within the ANC and say there is this particular individual who wants President Zuma out and this particular individual who wants President Zuma in. I think that is a very wrong approach. What we need to say, to look at, is to say, what are the issues that will influence this kind of decisions and what is it that the ANC might come up with? There are two options. They might allow President Zuma to continue as the head of state and ensure that they manage succession in a manner that there is no conflict between Luthuli House and the Union Building. Or they might then decide to say President Zuma must step off from the office, but also they must be able to manage it in a manner that it does not create conflict and factions within the ANC. The choice lies with the National Executive Committee of the party.
Well, we have spoken now about unity and the future of President Jacob Zuma, but looking broader perhaps, what do you think are the biggest challenges facing the ANC NEC, not only for this meeting, but perhaps in the year to come?
One of the issues that we got used to in South Africa is that after Polokwane, because the ANC has been characterized with factions, most people got disappointed that different factions have made it into the NEC. And that's why now we start talking about challenges. I think the ANC has the best NEC now in the sense that you have got three individuals who have been running provinces. You have got Didi Mabuza, you've got Ace Makashule, you have got Paul Mashatile. They've been chairpersons of provinces before. They've been premiers of the provinces before. These are the people that are bringing in a vast experience within the party. The president of the ANC has been the secretary general of the party. He has been the deputy president of the party and that of the republic. He has got vast knowledge and experience in running the party. Joyce Duarte has been in that position for a very, very long time. She has been in the PEC in Gauteng. Gwede Mantashe, we can't say anything about him because we all know what he has been doing. So we've got the best top six. And what we need to expect from these top six is to say they must assist the ANC and the entire republic by leaving behind all their factions and focus on unity. And I think in the context of unity, we've got the best top six that the ANC would ever have.
Well, thank you so much, Levy. Now, I'm going to ask you to please stay in studio for us. That's political analyst Levy Ndou.